Hello viewers, welcome to this my channel. If this is your first time of viewing, kindly consider subscribing to my YouTube channel. Also follow my Facebook page, like this video, share and comment. Alright, so if simultaneous equation has been your trouble in mathematics, cry no more. There is a solution. Cramer's rule is the solution. It is another method of solving simultaneous equation other than the elimination method, substitution method, or even the graphical solution to simultaneous equation. Okay, now remember that simultaneous equation is just a kind of equation which involves more than one unknown. Like in the equation 1, you can see up to two unknowns here, which are x and y. In equation 2, you can see up to three unknowns, which are x, y, and z. So this man, Cramer, gave us a new way of solving simultaneous equation by employing its rule. Okay, now one thing you need to know here is that there is a value for your x and there is a value for your y. For the third one, there must also be a value for z that will satisfy the equation. So, if I'm not mistaken, this man Cramer must have been a great crammer. Maybe he crammed a lot when he lived. I'm joking. So, the first question here says 3x minus 2y equals 4 and 4x plus 5y equals 13. So now there is a value for x. According to him, x is equal to determinant of change in x all over determinant of change. Y equals determinant of change in y all over determinant of change. These are the values for x and y. Okay, now you might be wondering, what is this determinant of change in x and this determinant of change in y? Okay, now look at what it means. Considering this given question here, change implies, just form this matrix which I'm about to form. Pick out all the coefficients of the variables in the left hand side. The variables here are x and y, and the coefficients here are 3, 4, minus 2 and 5. This is minus to take note. 3, 4, you write 3, 4, minus 2 and 5. You write minus 2 and 5. Then after change, you need change in x also. So change in x equals, to get change in x, cover x. You don't need x for change in x. All right. In that change in x, just begin from the right hand side. You must begin from the right hand side. If you start from the left hand side, you fail it. Okay. So you must begin from the right hand side if you want to get change in x, and it is now 413 before minus 25. 413 minus 25. So you write 413 minus 2 and 5. Also, you need change in y. You form the matrix also. For change in y, you have to cover y. But for change in y, you must begin from the left hand side, no longer right hand side. So you have 3, 4, 4 and 13. 3, 4, 4 and 13. So we have 3, 4, 4 and 13. So I have successfully formed the three matrices here. So we are going to get the determinant one after the other. First of all, determinant of change is just a cross multiplication. Just say 5 times 3 cross multiplication. 5 times 3 will give you 15 minus 4 times minus 2 is minus 8. Just cross multiplication, subtract the values you get from the right cross and the left cross. So when you say 5 times 3, you are getting 15, and 4 times minus 2 is minus 8. This minus here is a constant. The difference between the products of the elements in the right diagonal and the left diagonal gives you the determinant. So change determinant will now be 15 minus minus turns to plus. So 15 plus 8 will give us 23. That is determinant of change. You also get determinant of change in x. Just cross multiply determinant of change in x. 5 times 4 will give you 20. Put this minus, that is constant. 13 times minus 2 will give us minus 26. Okay. So determinant of change in x will now give us 20 minus minus is plus. So we have 20 plus 26. This gives us 46. Also, determinant of change in y will now be cross multiply again. 13 times 3 will give us 39 minus 4 times 4 is 16. Okay, when I do that, I am getting 23 also. 23. Now, finally, we finished almost. So here, the value of x is determinant of change in x over determinant of change. And our change in x is 46. So we have 46 over determinant of change is 23. So you divide. If I divide 46 by 23, I will get 2. So the value of x is 2. For y, determinant of change in y over change. Determinant of change in y gave us 23. And determinant of change is also 23. So if I divide 23 by 23, I'm getting a 1. Therefore, x is equal to 2 and y is equal to 1. So these are the values that will satisfy this equation. X is 2 and y is 1. If you use any other method of solving simultaneous equation to solve this, you will find out that you will get the same value for x and y. So let us take the second question. So this is what we have in the second question. As usual, you should know that your x equals determinant of change in x over determinant of change. Also, y should be determinant of change in y all over determinant of change. Z will be determinant of change in z all over determinant of change. Okay, and having done this, you need to get the matrices and get their determinant one after the other. So now, for the matrix change, it is just finding the coefficients of the values in the left hand side, which are 2, 1. This is 1, 3. So we have 2, 1, 3 minus 1, 3 minus 1. Remember, any letter without a number standing beside it is 1. So this is minus 1, 3 minus 1 minus, we have minus 1, 3 and the minus 1. Then 1, 2, 1. We have 1, 2 and 1. We also need to get for changing x and changing y. So now, for this, let's tag this changing x. Changing x means you must, as usual, start from the right hand side, but don't touch x. So it will be 0, 16, 3, 0, 16, 3, followed by y, minus 1, 3, minus 1, minus 1, 3, minus 1, then z. Z is 1, 2, 1. 1, 2, 1. Also, you get a change in y. Change in y means cover y, don't touch y, but you must start from the left. So you will have 2, 1, 3. Z is always the last to pick. You now have 0, 16, and 3, followed by 1, 2, and 1. So having formed these matrices, you've got to solve for their determinants one after the other. And getting the determinant of any 3 by 3 matrix is not a day job. To get the determinant, here is always plus, here is minus, here is plus. So now, determinant of change will now be finding the, I will break this down into 2 by 2 matrices. Now, if I want to pick 2 now, which is plus 2 into, I will delete all the elements in the same row and in the same column with it. I will now be left with 3, 2, minus 1 and 1. Remember, there is a minus sign here. Then minus minus will turn to plus. That will now be plus 1 into, if I delete the same row and the same column, I will just have 1, 2, 3 and 1. 1, 2, 3 and 1. Then plus, what I'm having here is 1. So I have 1. If I delete the same row and the same column, I'll be left with 1, 3, 3 and the minus 1. 1, 3, 3 and the minus 1. So I will now find the determinant. This will give me 2 bracket. 1 times 3 is 3 minus Minus 1 times 2 will give me minus 2. Plus, this is 1 into 1 times 1 is 1. Minus 3 times 2 is 6. Plus 1 into minus 1 times 1 is minus 1. Minus 3 times 3 is 9. So this is now 2 brackets. Minus minus is plus. So 3 plus 2 is 5. Plus 1 bracket. 1 minus 6 is minus 5. Plus 1 bracket. Minus 1 minus 9 will give us minus 10. This will now be 2 times 5 is 10. 1 times minus 5 is minus 5. And 1 times minus 10 is minus 10. 10 minus 5 is 5. And 5 minus 10 will give us minus 5. So determinant of change is just minus 5. So we shall clean it also and get determinant of change in x. After that, we get for change in y. So let us write somewhere here that determinant of change is minus 5. So we won't forget. We go for change in x. Okay, so we go for change in x now. So determinant of change in x will now be put plus, minus, and plus. If I pick the first number, which is 0, I will delete everything in the same row and in the same column with it. I'll be left with 3, 2, minus 1, and 1. Minus, minus, this is minus. Minus, minus turns to plus. If I delete the same row and the same column, I'll have 16, 2, 3, 1. 16, 2, 3, and 1. Plus 1 into, if I delete the same row and the same column, I'll have 16, 3, 3, and minus 1. 16, 3, 3, and minus 1. So this will give me 0 into 1 times 3 is 3, minus 1 times 2 will give us minus 2, plus, remember this is 1, oh, 1 into 1 times 16 is 16, minus 3 times 2 is 6, plus 1 again into minus 1 times 16 is minus 16, minus 3 times 3 is 9. Okay, so we have 0 into minus minus is plus, so 3 plus 2 will give us 5, plus 1 into 16 minus 6 is 10, plus 1 into minus 16 minus 9 is minus 25. So 0 times 5 will give us 0, plus 1 times 10 is 10, 1 times minus 25 is minus 25. So 10 minus 25 will give us minus 15. Hence, determinant of change in x is minus 15. So we have to write somewhere that determinant of change in x is equal to minus 15, so that we don't forget. Let us clean it again to get determinant of change in y. Okay, so now determinant of change in y will now be, you put plus, minus, and plus. I will take the first one, 2, form the matrix. I will delete everything in the same row and in the same column. I'll have 16, 2, 3, and 1. 16, 2, 3, and 1. Minus 0, minus 0 into, delete the same row, the same column. I'll have 1, 2, 3, 1. 1, 2, 3, 1. Plus 1. I'll delete the same row and the same column. I'll have 1, 16, 3, 3. 1, 16, 3, and 3. Okay, so this is now 2 into 1 times 16 is 16, minus 3 times 2 is 6, minus 0 into 1 times 1 is 1, minus 3 times 2 is 6, plus 1 into 3 times 1 is 3, minus 3 times 16 is 48. So we have 2 bracket 16 minus 6 will give us 10, minus 0 bracket 1 minus 6 is minus 5, plus 1 into 3 minus 48 is minus 45. So we have 2 times 10 will give us 20. 0 times minus 5 is 0, plus okay, 1 times minus 45 is minus 45. So we have 20 minus 45 will give us minus 25. Hence, determinant of change in y is equal to minus 25. So you come somewhere here, determinant of change in y equals minus 25, so that we don't forget. Remember, we've not got a change in z, right? So I'll clean the board so we can get the change in z, because we've not got it. You only got x and y. Okay, so to get the change in z, because we need to form the matrix for change in z before we get the determinant. So change in z is just you form this matrix. To pick change in z, you don't touch z, but you begin from here. You pick x, you pick y before the constant. So you have it as 2, 1, 3, minus 1, 3, and minus 1, then 0, 16, and 3. So we still find the determinant of this matrix. So determinant of change in z will give us, here is plus, minus, plus. So we have 2 or plus 2. Delete the same row and the same column, we shall have 3, 16, minus 1 and 3. 3, 16, minus 1 and 3. Minus minus turns to plus 1. Delete the same row and the same column, we shall have 1, 16, 3 and 3. 1, 16, 3 and 3. Plus 0 into, delete the same row and the same column, we shall have 1, 3, 3 and minus 1. 1, 3, 3 and minus 1. So this will give us 2 into 3 times 3 is 9, minus 1 times 16 is minus 16, plus 1 into 3 times 1 is 3, minus 3 times 16 is 48, plus 0 into minus 1 times 1 is minus 1, minus 3 times 3 is 9. So this will give us 2 into minus minus is plus, so 9 plus 16 is 25, plus 1 into 3 minus 48 is minus 45, plus 0 into minus 1 minus 9 is minus 10. So 2 times 25 will give us 50. 1 times minus 45 is minus 45, plus anything times 0 is 0. So 50 minus 45 will give us just 5. Hence, determinant of change in z is just 5. So we can write somewhere so that we won't forget that determinant of change in z is equal to 5. So we shall clean here to finally get the values of x, y, and z. So we said that x is equal to determinant of change in x over determinant of change. And our change in x, remember, we got it as minus 15 over change is minus 5. So you have minus 5. Minus cancel minus, 15 over 5 will give us 3. So x is 3. For y is determinant of change in y over determinant of change. And determinant of change in y gave us minus 25 over determinant of change is still minus 5. Minus cancel minus, and 25 over 5 will give us 5. For z, determinant is determinant of change in z over determinant of change. Now change in z gave us 5 over determinant of change, which is minus 5. If we divide, we are getting minus 1. Therefore, x is equal to 3, y is equal to 5, and z is equal to minus 1. So you see that it's not a very easy task to solve questions that involves 3 unknown, but you've seen how I did it part by part. So if you've enjoyed what you've watched, kindly subscribe to my YouTube channel, share this video, like and comment. Thank you so much, my dear friends.